Hello, blessed Litha, and happy solstice, everybody. It is June 21st, which means it is the summer solstice, or the first day of summer. So, for a lot of pagans or Wiccans, that is Litha, the summer solstice. So, that's all cool and everything. Um, for today, I've kind of been thinking, for my little topic, have been thinking about precognition and, future telling, what my personal thoughts and feelings were on it, because, for a while there I was doing the weekly readings. Hi, Loki. I can't see through you, baby. But I was doing the weekly readings and kind of, they were kind of like attempted future tellings in a way, because it was trying to predict more or less what was coming for the week in an emotional kind of sense. Um, and I stopped feeling it, so I stopped doing it. But part of it is because I kind of got uncomfortable with the idea that I was kind of discounting future telling and then trying to predict the future, and it was just kind of all nonsense. Um, just because I don't know where I stand on future telling, because, there's instances where something uncanny happens, but it just doesn't seem like something you can necessarily force. Like I said, I have a lot of mixed emotions about it, and I haven't really thought it out just because it's not particularly important to my day-to-day life, so I don't think about it as much. Um, that doesn't overly bother me. Um, more than anything, there's also the idea that I myself have precognition abilities, and I'm not sure about that either. Um, some weird stuff has happened over the years, but it's never been anything long term. And even though, one week is, just one week and it's within the next few days, it's technically not long term, but it's kind of like further ahead than I would have thought. It's, I guess a few examples is just several times I've had moments where I've looked at an object and it's almost like my brain takes a screenshot. Like I'm in a video game and it's going, oh, that's useful for later. And I won't really think about it for the rest of the day until somebody asks, hey, have you seen this thing? And I'll just be like, oh, yeah, no, it's in this exact location because I saw it earlier and it just seemed important. Like, how in movies, like really old hand animated movies, like not computer animated, like 2D drawn movies, they'll have, this very detailed and gorgeous backdrop, and then there's this one object that is drawn differently from the rest, and you're like, oh, the characters are going to interact with that object, and then they do because it's, been drawn differently because they need it to come out and be part of the story. That's almost like what happens. Uh, that's the most common thing that happens to me that I would, like I said, I thought of it as like my brain taking a screenshot. I talked about it to my mom once, and she called it precognition, and I'm like, I don't know, I I don't know, but no. The only other times that this has kind of come up is I seem to wake up like 2 seconds before something. I guess I won't say disastrous, but weird happens. Um, Specifically, like last week, my cat knocked over a glass of water. it broke. Even though my room's carpeted, it still broke. Um, and I just remember waking up just in time to hear it break and not really registering what the noise was until I looked over trying to find my water glass, and there it was in pieces on the floor. But, ooh, excuse me. Besides that, there was another time at, um, because that's the thing, the noise didn't wake me up because I was already awake to hear it. Um, the other time was, uh, Christmas Day a few years ago. I woke up at 6 in the morning. I just remember, or maybe earlier, I just remember looking at the clock and being like, why am I awake? And, just kind of laying there for a moment, and then I hear this big boom in the hallway. And I'm just going, what the hell was that? I get up and I look out because it was very rainy, and this is before we got the landlord to fix the roof properly, and part of the hallway ceiling had dropped onto the floor because the roof was leaking there, and when the roof leaks, it causes part of the ceiling to cave in. Um, it wasn't anything drastic or irreparable, luckily. Like, it didn't cause lasting damage to any of our items or the world around it, but it just kind of more like one of those ceiling tiles fell off with some of the insulation. And I just remember waking up, looking at it, and going, well, I know we don't have a chimney, but this is a little excessive, Mr. Claus. Um, but it was just the timing on it was weird. Waking up right before it happened. Um, and that's all I can really think of in the moment of, arguably precognizant things that have happened. Um, the only other thing I can think about is the instance where I first called 911, which to non-Americans, that is our emergency service number. Uh, you call it for fire department, police, and ambulance, or emergency health. Uh, I hadn't ever called it before because I hadn't ever had, any kind of emergency before. I've had a very lucky life, kind of. It's been weird. Anyway, so this is why I lived by myself in the city, and I just remember, going to sleep before I had to work the next day. I remember waking up at just about 4 in the morning. It might have been like 3:50 something. I don't remember. But I just remember waking up and laying in bed, once again, why am I awake? And I was just laying there for a bit, wondering what on earth, why am I doing awake? Why? Why? And then I smelled smoke, and I was just like, why am I smelling smoke? That's weird. Is something in my apartment on fire? So I looked around my apartment, and when I got to the kitchen, I saw my cat sitting in the window there. Loki, wherever he went, it's a rainy day, so he might have gone back under my bed. Um, but he was sitting in the window there, and I was just looking outside very intently, and I was just like, well, that's strange. What are you looking at, buddy? I was also, it's 4 in the morning. I had 4 hours of sleep at that point, and I was just very floaty, and everything felt surreal at that point. You know, as you do. Geez, double whammy. I am so sorry. Yeah, I just remember I came over and I looked outside the window with him, and I had been living next to a club of some sort, I think. I'm not sure exactly what it was or what they did. Uh, I had never gone in, never asked, but there was a small alley between us, and one of their trash cans was sitting there pouring out a lot of smoke. And I just remember sitting there, petting Loki and staring at it for like, or no, I probably wasn't petting him because he was down at the window and I had a table right there. But I just remember standing there at the table, looking down on this trash can, like, huh, that's probably not good. Maybe I should call someone. Because I wasn't about I didn't really have any tools or energy to go down and put it out myself, especially because I didn't know what kind of fire it was. It had rained earlier in the day or the previous day, so it just seemed weird that it was on fire. Um, Also, like I said, it was, 4 in the morning, and I was just standing there going, huh, that's probably bad. So I went and got my phone and I called. I was just like, oh, I don't know the number for the local fire department. I guess I'll just have to call 911. Because then I was also debating to myself, I don't have a sense of urgency. Is this really an emergency? With a smoking trash can in front of me, debating. Um, but so I called and, I was just like, hey, since it's 4 in the morning, can you like not do the sirens? Um, but while I was on the phone with them, the trash can started, I actually started seeing flames out of it. So I'm like, huh, that could end up being bad. But I lived a few blocks away from the fire station. They sent, a truck over, they put it out. I watched them the whole time. I was just sitting up at my window, like, hey, that sure, that right there is a fire, all right. And the funny thing is, after I, called 911, then Loki came out of the window and came over for pets and snuggles, almost like he was like trying to point it out to me that it was happening. And then once I had done something about it, he was satisfied and came over like, okay, emergency over. Mother's taking care of it. I can have pets now. But that was just very strange to me. I just remember, I watched him put it out and everything, and it was like, okay, that's good. And then I went and laid down. I was trying to go back to sleep because, like I said, I had work the next day. And I just remember laying down, trying to get comfortable. And then, why was the trash can on fire? It just hit me then. I was like, why and how? Like I said, it just rained. Was it arson? Like, how was the trash can on fire? Everything was wet. And that's when the anxiety hit. You would think, as somebody who actually does have diagnosed general anxiety disorder, I would have had, been anxious a lot sooner, but no, it didn't hit me until I laid down to go back to sleep. And then I couldn't get back to sleep. And I ended up going to work, but walking to work instead of taking the bus, just because I went to McDonald's to pick up an iced coffee. And mind you, I do not like coffee. I'm not a coffee person. There's coffee and alcohol. It's like no matter how much you put in with it, I still taste the original a bit. But anyway, I had walked over to McDonald's and then from there I walked to work because I remember I texted my coworker. I was just like, hey, I might be late. I'm trying to go back to sleep after waking up for some nonsense. And then I was early because apparently I just can't be late. I've done that a different time in my life where I texted ahead or called ahead to say, hey, I might be late, and ended up early. It's all nonsense. But anyway, um, yeah, no, I just absolutely weird. And the whole reason it comes back to precognitions is what woke me up. I don't know what woke me up any of those times because the fire wasn't making any noise, um, and in the other two instances, the noise didn't come until after I was awake. So it's all a lot of questions. I know what answers my mom would have to it, but I don't know what I believe myself. Because like I don't want to sit here and be like I have precognition abilities, because I mean, what's it gain to me? I just wake up 2 seconds before something terrible happens. Because it's never in enough time for me to do anything about it. It's more just I have to wake up, react to it. If anything, the only time it's really helped is the, like I said, the fire. But look, yeah. So that probably wasn't nearly as entertaining as as the title of the video is probably going to make it sound. But you know, that's kind of that's kind of how my life is. Like it sounds more interesting than it has been. 9 times out of 10. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know what the entertainment value of my stories are. But either way, I think that's about all I have to say today. I have readjusted my video schedule for the week. I think Wednesdays I'm gonna do kind of like the personal antidote vlog kind of thing, just come on, talk, have a tale, just talk about what's on my mind recently. And then on Fridays I will talk about what I've been reading, what I've been uh watching, or and that kind of thing. And then Mondays, because the people around me tend to have weekends off, so if and or when we do anything social, we do it on the weekend. And then again, with Saturdays being occasionally, um, vendor events or work for me, with Mystic Mothership, I tend to end up very exhausted on Mondays because, introversion. I love my work and I love my family and friends, but I still get tired. That's just how introversion works. So usually Monday, I'm just way too tired to try to film a vlog or anything. So I think I will continue pulling a cat video out of the archives on my computer. And that went down a treat. I got 40 views on that already. I can't deny, even though they're not great quality because it's, my digital camera of 10 years, it's still cats playing. And specifically that time it was Luna and Phoebus when they were kittens. And it's just very sweet, very cute. And it's worth it. It's just fun. Um anyway, so I hope if you're subscribed, which shout out to my 3 subscribers, I love y'all. Um if you're subscribed, I hope you keep watching. I hope you've been enjoying the content. And I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.